Wow, we are not giving up yet, Bob.
No, there's no way we can give up. This is
We
it.
are soldering on.
Yes, yes.
Oh my goodness. For the audience that had joined us earlier, we sincerely apologize. It was just a network issue, but we are back and strong with our topic. And yeah, we've got a third guest in the studio who just joined us. Welcome, Coach.
Yeah,
Thank
welcome,
you.
Coach
Thank you.
Africa.
Thank you so much for jumping in. We really appreciate that. So today we were actually having a very interesting casual discussion with Barbara. We wanted to discuss about, the kind of sometimes, what can I say, challenges that we face in our
Mm,
jobs when we are working
mm,
here, especially, all of us here can testify that we are immigrants. We've got our homes back home.
mm,
And sometimes, there are certain situations that we face, and but we work with one eye opened and one eye closed.
mm,
And
mm,
so we wanted to have a candid discussion about this, on a Friday night. And I guess just, be very sincere, be very open, an open discussion. If there are any audience out there who are watching, we don't mind your comments. Drop them in. Let us know what you also think,
mm,
about the topic today. So, this idea of being employed, when you're working here in diaspora, you are employed, and you're probably sometimes, because you're on a visa, you are stuck maybe on that visa and that particular employer, and you find yourself that you are just stuck in that job. You're just stuck with that employer.
mm, mm,
There's not that much of sense of, freedom. you know it's like your life is like that. It's just with that one employer. It's just in that one workplace. And if anything goes wrong, you're actually kind of like working, and you're walking on eggshells, you know, and you're scared that if I lose my job, then what? Because that's the place to which you are stuck in.
mm,
Barbara, what points
mm,
can you also share,
mm,
about, you know, the way that we are working here in diaspora? What other
mm,
things also can you share the uncomfortability sometimes that we find
mm,
ourselves under?
mm. Thanks so much, Rujeko. We
Mm,
actually leave home for greener pastures. Then we come here looking for the greener, and we find they are not that green because it's so painful at times. You have to
mm,
do overtime because unenge wakuita from hand to mouth. The
mm,
pay, you have to do the bills, the fees, and everything, such that you are forced to do overtime. And the
mm,
pauri kuita overtime apaka hauchisina
mm,
time with family,
mm,
hauchisina flexibility yekuti kuda kuenda kunosangana nevamwe even for church, even for
mm,
catch up with the African community. You become
mm,
isolated because
mm,
kungoenda kubasa rimwe chete iroro. And
mm,
you feel so unstable. And
mm,
vana, because the kids are remaining home alone, they are looking
mm,
after themselves with the television, with the social media. So
mm,
those
mm.
Zimbabwean cultures you value so much, you can't instill them in the children
No.
because we are busy working every day. We are
And the
busy
children are
trying to
raised by the
out.
television
Yes, and the social media. And
and the
that's where they
social
are
media.
picking. Yes.
Mm,
So sometimes kubasa ikoko, the rules of the visas change. You are on an
yeah.
employer sponsored visa. You
Mm,
actually have to do an extra mile than your colleague who is a citizen
mm,
because vanhu vari kukutarisa, they micromanage you,
mm.
they look for those silly mistakes, so you are trying, and it's mentally exhausting,
Yeah, when
but
you
you've
work
got to
like
do
that.
it.
Mm,
Yes.
mm,
So it's hard to be an employee
mm,
24/7 in diaspora.
mm,
Hence, we are doing this to try
mm,
and win ourselves
mm,
from that.
mm,
Yeah.
mm,
Mm,
mm, mm.
mm, mm,
Alberta, we know you've already left that employer, kind of like we love our jobs. I don't want to be negative.
mm,
I don't want to
mm,
say employer trap, but I've said it.
mm, mm,
you know,
mm,
like what Barbara is saying, you're working and, you're forced that it's just hand to mouth, and then for you to be able to work to get more than hand to mouth, you are forced to do that over time. What other issues can you say you faced, you know, when you were still employed, and that you want to share with people that, this is how it really is, and hence why we are doing what we are doing? Yeah. What can you share with us what you faced as well?
Thank you. Thank you. This is a really good topic for
Mhm.
immigrants
Mm,
that are new or that have migrated long time ago. It's no difference.
mm,
The thing is, we think when we're back home, we think that we are going to a different country, a
mm,
developed country for greener pasture, right?
mm, mm,
Like I must share that way back in Papua New Guinea, where I came from. In Papua New Guinea, I had a really good job. Even my husband has had a really good job, and we had benefits.
mhm,
Benefits in terms of the company pays a rent.
mhm,
Example, they give us housing allowance
mhm,
because me and my partner had both. So I was receiving the housing allowance while my husband, his company was paying our rent, right?
mhm,
They gave us cars, like company cars, to drive to and from work.
mhm.
And so life was like, what I mean.
Nice.
And then you
yeah.
are getting your salary.
Mm,
You are just paying you can enjoy it, you can do other things, you don't need to worry about rent and stuff.
mm,
Mm,
When we moved to Australia, where I moved as a student to come here, and although I had that experience and really good pay, coming here was totally culture shock.
mm,
We started from scratch, meaning
mm,
life was different in terms of, okay, now we're here, what's next?
mm,
The culture here is different.
mm,
For us to do the same job that we did in our country,
mhm,
they don't accept international experience. You have to have an experience from here in order
mm,
for you to gain this
mhm,
job. So I went for how many interviews? Although I
mm,
was qualified, or
mm,
I was fitted for the job, but then I received a, the I still remember this job. I went while I was a student, an accounting job,
mm,
where I can do that job because that's what I did back home.
mm,
And at that time, how many years ago, I
mhm.
believe the skin color was something that,
That one. Mm,
oh my gosh, they hired
mm,
me. And the moment I walked into this company, because I
mm,
went to an agency, I
mm,
walked into this company to do their credit control,
mm,
and the boss sees me. And because I worked in an accounting firm back home, which is a big
mhm,
accounting firm here as well,
mm,
Pricewaterhouse, the name sold me, right? Who I
mm,
was. But then when I walked in to start my job, it was the color.
mm,
And this guy just turns around and calls my agency and says, "Hey, look, I think we hired the wrong person,"
mm,
in front of me. And I was
mm,
like, "Hang on, I'm here to start. This is my first
mm,
day." And he goes, "No, no, no, no.
mm,
I think we got the wrong candidate." And they
mm,
call my agency back, and my agency calls me back.
mm,
And I passed everything. We had to go through a lot of tests to get to that job.
mm,
Even the
mm,
speed of typing and Excel, and the safety of the building. So I was like, wow, is that how it is here? That
Mm.
was the first thing that went into my mind.
Imagine, first impression. Mm.
And then
Mm.
I was settling down and starting to get odd jobs just to survive. Odd
Mm.
jobs.
Mm.
Okay, odd jobs came with a handful of expenses as well.
Mm.
Now I've got two little kids that I need
Mm.
childcare for.
Mm.
I was like, hang on, now all my pay is going to childcare, and then I'm starting
Mm.
to think, I'm not
Mm.
getting any housing allowance. I'm not getting
Mm.
anything what I used
Mm.
to get. I'm working overtime, even Saturday, Sunday. I'm working. Back home, I usually go to church on a Sunday, and Sunday is very strictly,
Eh?
with a
It's
here.
Sunday. Mm.
I had to go to church in the morning, and then in the afternoon, I'm going to work, which is something was, if I told my mom back home or my dad, they will be upset with me. Why are you going to work on a
Very
Sunday?
true.
They wouldn't
Sunday.
Mm.
understand.
And it's true.
Yeah,
Mm.
Mm.
and this is some of the things that I felt even at the workplace, even though you are like a qualified than this person, like my
Mm-hmm.
manager had a certificate,
Mm. Mm.
and she was my accounts manager,
Mm.
and
Yes.
I graduated with a
Mm.
degree, but I had to work
You
under
were
her.
working under that person. And it's
Yeah.
true.
Mm.
We were talking about
Yes.
all these things with Barbara that we
Yes.
face when we come. These
Yes.
are real stories, you know.
Yeah,
The
Yes.
point, you talked about, you come here and it's sad, but that's the situation, because even if us, we have our children, right? We want our children to do better jobs in this society, but
Yes.
because of this being secluded, marginalized, they still can't successfully get into the comfortable jobs that we would want them. And you find in that employment industry, we end up still pushing them to say, you know what, just do disability, it's quick, it's easy, you'll get the money, you'll be able to get there, just do this, just do this. It's
Mm.
like that's the reality, that
yeah,
even our dependencies, not only for ourselves,
Mm.
but even our dependencies,
Mm.
that freedom you talked
Mm.
about, going to church on a Sunday, right?
Mm. Mm.
Remember the days when you are back in Africa, when it's Friday, or you're back in your home place, when it's Friday, Friday means Friday.
yeah,
Friday means
Mm-hmm.
hooray.
Was a
It's
Friday.
Hosa Friday. We call it Hosa Friday. There's no that sense of Hosa Friday. That sense of
No.
Hosa Friday. In fact, you know that when it's Friday, it's time to even work
Mm.
because
Yes.
it's
Yes.
penalty rates on Saturday and Sunday. And it's really, these are the realities of these jobs that we are
Amen.
working when we are here in diaspora. And if you're an immigrant, you can hear loud and clear what we are trying to communicate here. I
Yes.
was even thinking of another point, when you were
Mm.
speaking, Barbara, to say,
Yes.
honestly, it's sad that we don't have time with our kids, right? we
Yes.
in reality, because we are forced, because the money that you get paid, it's enough. Yes, it can pay your rent, it can pay
Mm.
your the school fees, it can pay the
Mm.
bills and things like that, but above and beyond, for you now, the freedom to travel, the freedom just to enjoy life, it is not there.
Mm.
So it's like you're forced to work overtime. And when you're
Yes.
working overtime, what happens? It's physically draining,
Yes.
it's mentally draining.
Mm-hmm.
You're always in a burnout mode. You get home, you are grumpy.
Yes.
The little
Mm.
time that you have with your kids, you are just a grumpy mother, grumpy, because you're just tired, you're just exhausted. And that's the reality,
Mm.
of how it is. I don't know, Barbara, do you have any other points that you'd want to share about this
Um,
topic?
I'll just add on to that because you will be like in a toxic environment, like how Alberta experienced. You will always
Mm,
be like constantly looking over your shoulder to see if,
mm,
just like being not appreciated at times, you don't feel appreciated, and there's a constant
mm,
pressure. And
mm.
you feel like this forced over time with no freedom. It's like a survival mode. We've been in a
It's a
survival
survival
mode.
mode.
Yes,
20
yet
years in
we need
survival mode.
flexibility. Yes, yet we need flexibility. So as immigrants, let's move away from this uh, trying to please one employer. I'm not saying don't stop your job right now, but find a side hustle. Find something where you find the time with your family, where you can have that financial freedom, where you can
Mm,
actually say, I'm not working. Today it's a Friday. So it was a Friday, I'm
mm,
not working. But when you are not doing a side hustle, sometimes this is it. You are forced to go and do it. Even no matter how toxic the environment is, you shoulder on, you shoulder on. Yes.
mm,
So sometimes we are forced by circumstances to go into this
mm,
survival mode, but we can
mm,
bring ourselves out of this
mm. Yes.
if we decide to do
Mm,
digital business as a side hustle, or like our coach is now on a full time on it, and who knows, immigrant into full time entrepreneur, coach, helping other people to start their own successful online business.
yes.
Back to you,
Yes.
Rebecca.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Coach, do you have anything you want to add? I know I can see there. Do you have anything you want to add to that?
Thank you. So
Mm,
thank you, Bob, for that. I just wanted to add um, something called job redundancy,
mhm,
or what do you call it? Job redundancy or job reshuffling, or what do you call it? You know, there's a lot of in Australia, not
mhm,
Australia only, in the US, in
mhm,
developed countries.
mm,
This word redundancy is becoming normal to
mm,
us,
mm,
or especially as because the labor hire, they pay us really well, right? Nurses, doctors,
mhm,
everyone is paid well. But
mhm,
as the experience grow as well, and you grow with the company, or you grow with,
mhm.
the experience,
Oh, yes, yes,
your
yes, yes.
your pay,
It goes high.
your rate goes higher as well.
Mm,
You
mm,
know, about
Yes.
2 years ago, when Qantas, they outsourced the jobs to China because the engineers were so expensive to pay here in Australia. Labor is very
mm,
high. You know,
mm,
jobs were moved away to
mm.
China because it's cheap labor there.
It's cheap at labor.
Yeah,
Mm,
it's
mm,
cheaper to pay someone $5 an hour to do the same
mm,
job
Mm,
in
mm,
China than pay them here for 50 or
mm,
$60 an
mm,
hour. So companies, whatever company you're working for,
mm,
it's a business, right?
mm,
And a business, what do you see a business focuses on?
mm.
Making money. They're focused
Mm.
on making a
Oh,
profit.
yes. A business, exactly. That's their focus.
It's a
They're
business.
not
yes.
worried about your mental health or anything.
No,
Nah.
you don't care.
Mm,
Even though
Mm,
you can spend so many years committing your time, you know, making that company really look good.
mm,
But once
mm.
yes.
something happens, you're gone just like that.
Yeah.
They throw you out the window just
Just,
like that.
yeah.
So
Mm,
we've been there. We've been there.
Mm, mm,
We have experienced. We've seen it over and over.
mm,
It's happening.
mm,
mm,
Even retail shops,
mm,
because of the online now, everything is moving online.
mm,
Companies
yeah.
are realizing that they can save money by putting their
mm.
shops online, and people are purchasing online, so they can do away with,
With the
customer service.
employers.
Yeah,
Mm,
Yeah.
you see, all the machines are there now. You can go and pay your own thing.
Mm,
We don't need someone to serve us at
mm,
the customer service came out everywhere, has that,
mm,
mm,
mm.
even
mm.
calls. So you know how they
Yes,
really cut down on their staffing?
Yeah, we have noticed.
they
Yeah,
cut down. Yes, they
Even the
do.
cleaners now, they have those machines
How
that.
about, yeah,
The rob.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Even
Yes,
yeah.
waiters, you don't need they have this robotic thing that passes you the
With
food
the
now.
trolley.
And if you're
In
mm,
still in the job, and if I'm a waiter example, and I see that, I will have some thoughts around, okay, this is not safe now because my job will be taken by a robot.
Exactly,
I need to start
exactly.
yes,
a side
yes,
to start a side hustle. Like, in
Mm,
case something they totally replace me, what am I
mm,
gonna survive on? So
mm.
we encourage people to start a business, start something online,
Of
especially
your own.
of your
Build
own,
your
mm,
all
own.
your own.
Mm,
mm.
mm, mm,
So I've seen people being redundant,
mm,
and they're asking around, can you help me with that job? Can you? The only thing I can do is I'll help you with the business, not a job.
mm,
That's my
Yes,
advice, because
mm.
especially the people that are age, they're similar in their 40s and 50s. I don't believe any company will want to hire you anymore, because the young kids today
yes,
can do the job that you're doing, and they can pay them at
10
that
times faster
10
because
times
it's
fast
all
yes,
about that
technology.
business,
Yeah,
the money they
yes,
get back, they want all that. Mm,
yeah.
mm.
yes, yes.
So I really encourage people to start the business,
Yeah.
start something that is your own, that you're holding with your hands, and it
Mm,
will stay as long as you can work for yourself and become your own CEO.
mm, mm,
You might love
Yes,
your job, but one day something happens and you're just thrown away like that,
mm,
and you'll come back to our live and see, oh, what was Bob talking, what was Rujek, what was Alberta.
mm.
yes. Mm,
Yeah, job security
yes.
is something
Job. Yeah.
very, very.
Mm,
I
mm,
hope that those that are out there that are listening, they can actually start to see where we are coming from, the points why we encourage so much to start your own digital business.
Yeah.
It's your own that you are building.
yes.
It's your own that you are working on, and not only for you, but it's also for your family. To me, I've never seen anything like it. It's an opportunity that, honestly, if you can, I would just grab it, you know,
Mm,
especially if you are resonating with all these points that we're sharing. One of the things I forgot to say is, remember, you're working overtime. You're physically drained, emotionally drained. It's all about work.
yes,
Another thing is, you find that you just don't have that work life balance. No
yes.
work life balance, no social life. You know, you have to wait for you to travel. You have to apply for a leave that you may not even get. Sometimes you're told, you know what,
Mm,
yours, you need to do it next year. And this is the
mm,
freedom that we're saying. And even that leave, it comes with conditions. It's only 2 weeks, it's only 3 weeks.
It's like
you know
yes.
we have 52 weeks in a year, right?
uh,
And people work 50 weeks to get that suit.
I know, say that again. Can you see how it's really
Yes.
the way they set
Mm,
up these businesses?
50, 50 weeks,
yes.
you want your body out, guys.
Yes.
Just for that 2 weeks.
So,
Call
so
in
you have to
sick
keep
and see what
going.
happens. You have to keep going. Call in sick and
Yes.
see what happens. Barbara, have you ever tried to call in sick 3 times in a row at work?
They will actually want a doctor's certificate. Are you really sick? Because they need you to work. Yeah.
They need you to work.
I still,
Yes.
I still
Yes.
remember,
You are a manpower. Mm, mm,
I, I had a
mm,
dental appointment, and I called sick. I called sick,
mm,
and then this um, person goes, "Oh, when exactly is your dental appointment?" And I said 9 a.m.
Mhm.
And she goes, but you can still come to work. I
I
said,
know.
look, do you understand dental? Dental, have you had to take? Like, how, how am I going to cope with toothache, like toothache? How
Mm.
do you put it? Have you had toothache before? She goes, yeah, I've had it before, but you can take Panadol and come. I said, oh my gosh. How will how will I do a quality work if I'm in pain?
Mm,
You know
No,
how
you
it
will be
is.
gone as well. Mm.
And I just had to tell the truth. I said, look, I can't come to work if I'm in pain. And I won't concentrate. I have to be honest, sorry.
mm,
And
Mm.
and it's something that I still like today. I still can't believe I'm a job a quitter and I'm like, I'm going for dental and I'm
to go to,
okay.
you're free to,
I don't need to
eh.
report to anyone. I don't need to call
Yes.
someone to let them know that I can take as
Mm.
much time as I want. I can come, sleep in a bit, have a nap, and then work on my business. And I
Mm,
tell you, having time freedom, and
there's
especially for
nothing like it.
diaspora,
Mm,
Mm.
we need something to own. Because
mm,
if you are chucked away from your job or redundant or just
mm,
terminated,
mm,
you have something. You don't belong here. Remember,
mm.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
we don't
Mm.
have our grandparents here, like people here, even though
Mm,
they're redundant, they still have like they inherited their
mm,
grandparents
Yes.
and their
Mm.
things, so they are okay. But
mm,
for diaspora or immigrants,
mm,
there's nothing like that. So I
Mm.
encourage you to start a business and look after your health. Health is wealth.
mm,
Yes.
mm,
Yes. Mm. Mm.
mm.
It's very, very
Guys,
Mm.
important.
I wouldn't even know how much we can spell it out,
Mm.
how much we can extend to say, you know what, you look at all these things, start your own. Don't
Yes.
hold on and say, hold on to that 149 and say, you're holding on to your own future. That's what you're doing.
Yeah,
Because I tell you what, there is life out there. There
Mm.
really is. And there are people who are actually living life. People like you and me. But because we are not aware, because there's not enough of that education, you know, and I don't want to beat down people who have been scammed because it's real that people have been scammed. It's really
Mm.
real.
Mm.
But I really want to assure you, honestly speaking, in our business, it's the real deal. It's the real deal. You've got nothing to lose. If you are not happy, you get your 149 back and you move on,
Yep.
you know. But give yourself a chance. Give yourself that opportunity. Don't hold on to your future. That 149, it's your future.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, it's your future.
Yes.
Build something for yourself, for your family, for your kids. Give yourself the life that you actually deserve. I tell you one
Yes.
thing I learned when I started this business. I learned that dreams, they are actually valid. But because we are living in this survival mode state, Barbara, that you are talking about, we don't even know
Yes.
what is a dream.
Mm. You don't even know what freedom is. Mm. Mm.
I don't know. Any last words of parting, Barbara, to give to our people?
I would just say upenyu hwekudiaspora, it's reality. Or do you want to regret?
Mm,
If you think you find freedom in one spot, think again. There are options up there. You find your freedom when you spread your wings, not in one employer.
yeah,
This is it. Join online business.
yeah.
Mm.
Thank you, Barbara. Coach, last
Yeah.
parting words.
my word of advice is start an online business that can allow you to retire young like me,
mm.
be your own boss like me, and you don't need to work 50 weeks to
Imagine
enjoy that two
2
weeks.
weeks of annual leave. Amazing.
You can, you
Mm.
can just pack up your suitcase and go. Like right now, you can see in San Diego. Oh my gosh, CEOs, coaches having fun, traveling in five-star hotels, enjoying the dancing, masterminding. Oh my gosh. I was like, this is what real life is. Traveling with
Yes.
your laptop and your phone and just
Hey.
enjoy taking the whole family. Some business owners took the whole family just to make it as a vacation as well for them.
Mm,
Why are
Mm.
you stuck in one place for 50 weeks just to try to apply, and especially the healthcare professionals, I tell you,
mm,
everyone wants to go for holidays on Christmas Day, on New Year's. You know
mhm,
what they
Yeah.
do?
mm,
They won't let everyone go. They pick by who they sometimes it's favoritism, who they
mm,
want to go.
mm,
And
Mm.
although your all your explanation has gone that I need this holiday, still I'm so sorry. You need to
mm,
stay back because we need you at work.
mm,
That half of the staff are
Mm.
going holidays.
mm,
So what do? Miss out again.
mm,
So I really want you to start something that you can pack your bag, get on the plane, and go with the whole family, and not keep checking your account, or not enjoying your holiday and thinking, oh, I
yeah.
need to go back, I need to go back because I'm due for work. Yeah, start something today that you will really enjoy in 3 years' time. Believe me.
Yeah. And it's a simple thing on our websites. If you're interested, even inbox us. We'll be more than happy to guide you through. Just go on our Facebook page, click on our bio link, go into our website, and that is the first step. Be motivated by today's life. Don't stay where you are and don't hold on to your future. Don't work for 52 weeks just to get 2 weeks of annual leave. From me, Coach, and Barbara, it's a good night.
Good night.